Hello everybody, welcome to a new video series I'm going to do for you. This time it's based on the game Commander Conquest of the Americas. And just like Port Royal, which I'm already doing, this Commander, or Kota as it's called by a lot of people, is set in the Age of Sails and more specifically the colonial area. The big difference is that it isn't set in the Caribbean area, but basically covers a large area from the northern coast of current Canada all the way to, well, more or less the Amazon estuary. I've been preparing a little bit in this game, not that much, so instead of just starting a single player like I usually do, well, I can't show you. Usually I got options: campaign, battle, quick battle, historical battle. I would choose campaign, pick the Netherlands as that's my favorite country, and start the game. Right now, however, I will simply load the game because, like I said, I prepared a little bit as it would make things easier. I'm still at the start of the first game, so let's go. Now, what we got here are the countries I have to deal with, as well as some messages. So I will start with the interface, starting with mailbox. And it tells me I've got two messages. One is my welcome messenger, giving me some base information. Being Viceroy of the Netherlands, start with a small squadron, squadron or fleet. And that fleet, as shown here, is one captain, one warship, 3 trading ships, 2 trading ships I think even. And I need to find my colony. I have advices monitoring and give me advice, so that's part 1. The second has to do with the DLC, Pirate Treasure Chest. It adds Tortuga to the map. That is, and Tortuga is a pirate town which I can access with my fleet. I can even conquer it. When I do conquer it, I'm able to pick up the goods it's producing in its region of influence, or sphere of influence as the game is called. I can hire pirates, I can even hire complete fleets, but as already said, I can't add or remove ships, so if that fleet is actually destroyed or the pirate dies, I lose everything. That's the mail. Next is my missions. I don't have any missions yet, but trust me, I will get a lot. Then we have diplomatic view, and the diplomatic view shows the current ranking as well as the countries we have here. And based looking at that, we have the major colonial empires being Britain, the Netherlands, France, Portugal and Spain, as well as Denmark and the Empire. And the Empire is actually the Holy Roman Empire, which was, as somebody used to say, not holy, not Roman, and not an empire at all. It was more an empire by name and consisted of multiple states in what's nowadays Germany, Austria and Czechia. So those 6 are my competitors. We all start with the same wealth, we all have the same advisors standing, we all have 2 trade ships and 1 warship. No colonies yet, and we need 54 a new colony. Well, fortunately I do have that aboard of my ship. Then we got the financial report, and it will tell me over time my income and expenses either by items, ships sold, mission rewards, diplomatic actions and other income. Other income is, I think, from piracy. So that's what you have. Finally, option screen. I'm not going into that because it's obvious. So what else do we have? Well, the calendar, and it's currently January 1500. Game speed, number of squadrons at home port, my fleets at my home port. I'm able to build fleets in my home port, and my home port is Amsterdam, which was historical correct for a change, so unlike Port Royal. What can we do in Amsterdam? Well, I can bring up my home port, and as you can see, it shows a nice picture. No colonists available from last month, nothing what's available now. There's no morale on my colonists yet, so there's not much to see. But this becomes more important. Trading post of my home ports. And yeah, I can give you the whole wall of text, but this is easier. I have over there a warehouse. At some point I will have a fleet, and we have a trading post, and with it I'm able to transfer goods, so I could actually move stuff to my warehouse, sell it later. I can buy stuff at my trading post, bring it to the colonies, sell it off, or put it in a warehouse over there. We got a management panel for people, and this is going to be one of the things I need a little bit more often because of the kind of fleets I'm going to build, or because of what I need. First of all, I can load up colonies here, transfer the colonies from the town to my fleet, or the other way. I could transfer soldiers here, and I will need soldiers because with 7 nations on this map there will be war at some time. Not to mention I need the soldiers for naval combat, and I will have to battle pirates as well. I can do that in different amounts, 10, 50, 100 or maximum. Maximum is based upon what my ship cargo capacity is, or fleet cargo capacity, and it can be a lot. We have a captain here, age 35, and this captain got the unsinkable skill, which means enemy cannon fire will damage my ship with 20% less damage. It's nice. Captains gain skills over time. Some are useful, some are useless. Fortunately, I can swap captains, so I can actually get a captain with the unsinkable traits on a combat fleet, while a captain with a speed trait could be put on my trading convoy. And those are his annual costs. 72 gold pieces, that means 60 each month. Then we have some special persons aboard the ship. The carpenter. This guy repairs maximum hull, 10% of my maximum hit points per month. Why is it useful? Well, if I have this guy aboard of a battle convoy and my ships are damaged and I'm in pursuit of a pirate, This guy will actually repair my damaged ships, making sure that I'm able to survive the next battle. Sailmaker is basically doing the same thing, except not for the hull but for the sails and rigging. A surgeon reduces crew damage in battle. It's basically saying this guy is rescuing lives and making sure that my crew, 20% of my crew has, I'm thinking wrong, 20% of my crew will get 20% less damage, which means I may actually keep 20% more crew after a battle as I would without this guy. Then we have the cook. Increases coastal vessel range. Coastal vessels are the ones I'm going to use in my colonies in the Americas. I intend to build up 2, maybe 3 hubs, but 2 to start with. And the main idea I'm going to use is coastal vessels to travel between my colonies, dumping off everything in one city. Later, when I have 2 hubs, dumping it off in 2 cities where my 2 big transport convoys will move in and pick things up. So with that, I'm able to keep my costs down, as I don't need a convoy for each colony, or better said, a big convoy for each colony. The gunner gives damage inflicted. That's damage done by cannons. So plus 50% damage means I will destroy sails and hulls faster, crew most likely too, and with that it's obvious being able to board or capture ships faster. It's as simple as math being 1 plus 1. Marine officer, increasing efficiency of soldiers, firing range and efficiency in boarding action. Now, one of the funny things in this game is when I'm doing the combat myself, that Marines actually start shooting at the other ships as soon as those ships are within musket range. I hope I'm able to show it, because every once in a while this game had the tendency to crash when ships bump into each other. It's a bug they never got out, and as far as I know there aren't any mods available to do this. But if I'm able to show this, the big advantage is because of my Marines, I'm not needing that much grape shot to decimate the crew of the opponent. So Marine officers are useful, very useful. The last 3 persons I have are a navigator, increase squadron speed on the strategic level, and strategic level is my current map. And it means my convoy is traveling a lot faster, 20%, and that's quite some speed. I mean, if you're doing 5 knots, then 20% mean you increase by speed by 1 knot, which in turn means that after 5 trips you actually have been doing 6. It's that simple. 20% faster means 20% more trips in the time you did the 100. The lookout increases view on strategic level. It's useful early game when you want to explore the coastlines for colonies. Later, I think he can be useful on combat fleets because you're able to spot other fleets faster, but for the rest I'm not so sure actually. And finally, Constable increases crew morale by 20 points. You can put this guy aboard of a ship, but we have captain traits doing the same thing. And crew morale is important. The higher it is, the longer it takes for the enemy to actually force you to surrender. And if they do that, you may actually win a battle, even with an undermanned crew. So those are the people I can hire or put aboard my ships. And I can do this in both my home port as well as my colonies. Here we got the docks, currently nothing, but in general what I can do. I have my fleet or fleets on the right. I have the docks up here and I can either transfer ships to my fleet, I can create a new fleet with the selected ships. When I have a new fleet, I can select it here on top and transfer ship. I can repair ships and I thought I can sell ships. And there's also the option to transfer them back to the docks. There's nothing I can do now. And finally we have the shipyard. The home port starts with a level 3 shipyard, but there are restrictions. And the restrictions are that some ships won't be available until a certain date. Currently really available to me are the Caravel and the Carrack. And while they say the Cog is available, I think it's a little bit later. There's also a symbol at the top of the screen, as you can see. Yes, the Caravel has this very small golden circle, while the Carrack has this little red cross. The difference is Caravel is a trading ship, and Carrack is a warship, and it's in the description as well. It indeed has limited cargo space, but the advantage of a Caravel with 40 and the Cog with 45 is the speed. You're doing 1 knot extra, and that 1 knot is only done extra with 5 cargo space. It's basically you're losing 5 cargo space, but you're doing 1 knot extra. And if I split 5 divided by 40, then in percentage it's not similar to 7 divided by 6, because I think that's about 16%, while this is 12%, so the trade-off is not right. Cogs are useful when you're running out of money and still need a convoy, but other than that, forget about it. The Indiaman will become available later. It's one of the largest trading ships we have, 200 cargo, so think of it, as soon as you have the ability to build Indiamans, you can sell off 5 caravels and use 1 Indiaman doing 10 knots. Okay, yes, it's costing a lot more, but you also transfer 200 items at once. The flute is in general one of the first trading ships you may build as soon as you have the ability. It's locked now, I can't build it yet because, as it says, availability 1525, and that same thing is with the Cog, 1505, 1600. So only at starting at 1525 I'm able to start building flutes. It has 10 knots speed, it has 60 cargo, so that's already a big increase, 50% in cargo, and compared to the Caravel also close to 50% in speed. So yeah, it's making a lot of difference. Then we have the frigate, a warship, one of the first warships we can actually start using, but it comes up in 1580. And the whole campaign runs until 1650, so not yet. Galleons. This one is the warship version, available from 1530, so it's a very good ship you can use to protect your fleet convoy. 1525 and 1530, so you build a convoy of flutes, but you still have to use the carrack, so your speed will drop to 8 instead of the hoped for 10. You might as well wait 5 years and build a galleon as a warship, and then turn the carrack and caravel convoys out of business. Makes things a lot easier. Eventually you will start using schooners. They're available from 1560. Wait, am I making? No. Schooners are fast ships, and you can use them to replace the flutes. That's what it is. Although even with 40 cargo compared to the 60, so 50% less, you're moving from 10 knots to 16 knots, so actually doing 60% faster trips. Cost wise, you'll actually be cheaper on the schooners, so even with the less cargo, the turnaround time is a lot better and you will make a profit. Then the last one is going to be the Indiaman, but for protection in 1615 you can actually start using ship of the lines as a warship. This is a first grade, and the frigate will be the one after the galleon, but this one is the first rate ship of the line. It has quite some crew and cannons, and the cannon says heavy tier 3, so it's a nice one, but disadvantage, you will drop again in speed. So for a war convoy it's useful, for protection of a trading convoy not that much. Especially not because at 1600 you got a convoy which is strong enough to defend itself. Eventually, wait, I think, yep, the marking is wrong. Ship of the line third was actually the one you get first, and the first ship of the line, those are the very big ones. 90 cannons, 60 cannons, 10 knots. It's still slow. I won't go about what I'm going to do. What I am going to do is select a caravel. We have more options, being I can select 3 different upgrades, battle deck improvements. It makes my ship less maneuverable, but it is better for boarding, and boarding will be one of the things I intend to do, so it's one of the things I might consider. Next, better handling. More crew needed, but better maneuverability and 5% faster ships. So for a combat ship it's useful. Cannon accuracy, always useful on combat ships. Yes, it makes my ship more expensive, but having more accurate cannons means you also are using less cannonballs, grape shot or chain shot, and with that making sure the battle ends faster in your advantage. Cargo space increase. It's 10%, so I move from 40 to 44. I will drop speed by 5%. But trust me, those 4 points are very important. Hull strength, decreasing sailing speed, increasing hull hit points. For a combat ship, it's nice. Heavier cannons, cannon type increase by 1. If I pick that, I can't do that here because this ship can't even hold a cannon, but I will move from light to medium to heavy cannons. So imagine a ship usually having medium cannons and now using heavy ones, inflicting more damage. More damage means a shorter battle. Shorter battle means being able to do something else faster. And then sails maneuverability. It will decrease the crew requirements, so it means less crew, and increase maneuverability of the ship. It's useless for a trading ship, even though it may drop my cost, but the next one does. Increased sail hit points and sailing speed by 5%. If I do this one, I'm going back to, going back to 7. It doesn't. Well, never mind. So, with all of this, let's see, upkeep should drop by this one. Yeah, 41, 44, but I'm sticking to 7 knots, and the 7 knots will be important even with a higher cost. So that's the ship I'm going to build, and done. 7 months from now it will be finished. So those are the things happening in my home port. Now the next one. This here is my captain, and the 2 circles mean
Squadron standing by.
The ships he is commanding. 3 ships, those 3 ships, there are ocean going warships and trading ships. It's mentioned on the right. If he was for some reason doing a coastal water ship, the circle on the left would have a number. I will send him to the next spot.
We are on our way, sir.
As was mentioned here in the tutorial. And I know there's, in each and every game I used to play here, there's always a colony location here. It's funny. So, what options do we have? First of all, I can open the commander info and the squadron info. Annual cost 4,320. This is probably the speed 11.3 all in all. Cargo used 50 of 100 possible. Those 50 are formed by 50 colonists, no soldiers. My captain is 35 years old and he has the Eagle Eyes skill. 20% to fleet view range in strategic level, which means the light circle we may or may not see around it because it's a bit hard to see, is 20% larger as what it is if he didn't have that skill. Then we have 1 carrack and 2 caravels. using Dutch names, although the captain isn't, but who cares. No cargo in my squadron. Auto repair is on, and there's a reason for that. I won't send it to my home port or Amsterdam this time. I can't add or remove a capped squadron to my fleet yet. I will be able to do that later. There's no ability to trade route. I can order it to stop, I can order it to patrol, I can even order it to attack a colony. But for attacking colony I need more warships and soldiers. I don't have those. So let's speed things up a bit and start sailing. And as you can see, the Portuguese and the Danish, as well as the French, are all rushing off to the north. I am going this direction because, as said, there's always a colony here, and this location makes it quite a good location for the trade hub.
We're on our way.
There's the colony spot, so I have to sail into it, which is simple, done that. And here's the new colony. Producing sugarcane, cocoa, dyes and spices. I can even change the name, and I will use one which was used often by Dutch sailors and colonists when they founded a new colony. So welcome to Nova Colonia. Now, I have a colony done. Now the fun really starts. First of all, before I even do anything else, I will increase some buildings here. I will need a sugarcane mill. It will require a smithy. So the first thing I'm going to build is a smithy. It will cost me 45,000. Okay, fine. But it will actually help me. The second thing I'm going to do, am I able to? Yes, I'm able to, is build a church, as church will increase morale. After that I won't do anything. As soon as my smithy is done, and that's a 3-month job, I will start to build a sugarcane mill. Because 100 cane gives me 62 sugar. And the reason will be shown pretty soon. I also have an option to see what it does. Simply set 100 to 62. The next is 180. And that one is available in 1545, 180 for 128 sugar. So with less resource I am able to produce more sugar. And in 1562 it's even getting better, because 300 sugar will give me 249, 300 canes of 249 sugar. So that's one of the things I can do, improve stuff. Currently I'm here. Same thing goes for the smithy. I can upgrade it to several levels, and the higher it is, the better buildings. It will have shipyard, similar, so I always have 3 levels of buildings, but it also could have additional requirements. One shipyard needs a smithy, but for the level 2 I already need a courthouse, and at level 3 I even need an increased courthouse, improved courthouse, and an improved smithing palace. This will make it very important. It's basically saying it's the capital of my colony. It will cost a lot of money though. Garrison, I will need it. Not immediately, but sooner or later I will run into colonies. I will need soldiers to protect the colony as there are locals nearby, or given this game is somewhat older and set up before all the political correctness, Indians nearby. So I will need my garrison to protect from them. Not each and every tribe is hostile, but over time they may be. Not to mention, garrisons will protect my colony when I'm under attack from, well, you name it. Britain, France, the Empire, the Danish, doesn't matter. Any foreign nation could attack me after they declared war on me. Courthouse, needed for colony morale, and it's another precision requirement for some buildings. Sometimes English language is luck, never mind. There are more buildings I can set up, and over time I will do that. The reason I will moving stuff, goods from, especially raw resources, from one colony to my hub system, and from that point on I will produce the final goods in one spot and either transport them back to my hometown or to other colonies. And a bakery is one of the buildings I will need to divert goods over multiple colonies. Bread will be important at some point. I won't go over each and every company, but simple said, this means it needs a requirement. That means there's a time lock on it. It's that simple. Yes, it is. So, we have once again the people management window. Here's my captain. Here's another captain available. 20% chance to flee. And it's a useful skill for trading convoys because it means it will try to outrun anything trying to attack you. But what's going to be important for me right now is the navigator, because it will increase my speed. And as said, a faster speed means a faster turnaround, means faster time to get a profit. Shipyard isn't working. Buildings that we have had. We have the docks here. I can select a ship and move it back, or add ships, and there aren't any other ships left. I can even repair the cost, but I've set it at auto repair. So what's left to do here? Well,
The squadron is at your service.
this guy needs to do trading, and I won't send him to home port, and there's no other squadron I wish to add, so that's not needed, but automatic trade is needed. And we got another info about the trade loop window. So simple set. Home starting port Nova Hollandia. I will set everything at 1000 for a reason. 1000 sugar, move over to Amsterdam, sell 1000 sugar. Then add colonists, add goods, move back to the colony, drop them off. In general, the convoy is ready now. But I won't do it like this. First of all, I will remove those two. And I will start picking up 50 colonists. After that, I will start to pick up 1000 of each item here, because I will eventually need to sell this off. So my first steps are to move items from the hometown to the colony and make sure that I unload as much as possible. The only way to do that is by making sure you load as much as possible as a first step. It's a little bit complicated, but yeah, I'll get by. Now, the next one is meaning and once again this is based upon previous experience. And my guess is that silver ware and jewels are only sold at the higher level colonies. So that's why I keep them lower. If for some reason I notice that I'm lacking, and every once in a while I will check my port, see what's actually dropped off and if it's sold or not. But as soon as I notice that I'm lagging, it's very simple, I will increase the amounts a little bit. So basically what I'm now doing, well, in Amsterdam I have to pick up 50 colonists and some other goods, sell over to, and while I do have it, sell off the sugar, sell over to Nova Hollandia, where I will buy sugar and drop everything off in port. That's the whole thing I'm going to do.
We'll
Accept
get to it
trade
immediately,
route,
sir.
and the circle turned purple and he's ready. Plus now we got missions coming up. The first thing, mission. First colony, and I got 5,000 gold for that. Thank you. New mission. First import. And what does he want to? Well, he wants me to make a profit, makes sense. So I have to move goods from the colony back to my hometown. I got 60 months to do that. Here are my advisors and their tasks. And currently one trade advisor and one archbishop. The archbishop wants me to increase the colony population at least 50. So, and once again I got 60 months for that, or 5 years. I picked 50 colonists on my first trip, so with the turnaround time I have, it's pretty fast done. Also, we don't have any colonies here. My advisor standing is excellent. They're all happy. So there's nothing to worry about. And meanwhile, my convoy is traveling to Amsterdam and I won't have it selected. Let's check what the competition is going to do. As said, a new message. Advisor, Yeah, they monitor me, they give me missions, yada yada yada, I know that. So here's the Amazon estuary, so it's actually close to Recife, I think it is, in Brazil. Central America, Cuba, Bahama, Cayman, Mexico, Yucatan, southern US, Florida, all the way up Bahamas. And another message. My smithy is finished, and that means I'm able to build something else sooner or later. Canada with Newfoundlands, and here we have two competitors, colonies, one in Ulasotek producing hides, and one in Unkadiek, which is having gemstones. And I will keep a record of this. So, and the Spanish have been adding one as well. And I finished another mission. Sometimes life is very easy. And they gave me 5,000 gold. So that means, would you leave me alone? This is what I already said. That means my squadron is currently transporting sugarcane. Now, here's another nice feature. Global price, the global price chart. I'm buying it up at 89, I'm selling it for 163, which means that I'm going to do almost 100% in profit. If I was going to buy it in Tortuga, it's even less, but selling there is, well, it's possible, but I won't do that. Also, with my smithy done, I may be able, indeed, to build the sugarcane mill. It takes 4 months to do so. Which means that more or less about in October I'm able to start producing sugar, and sugar will be selling for a better price. And here we got the next mail. And if you're curious about what that mail says, well, so am I. First of all, I did another import and I got another 5,000 gold. Ah, that's so nice to give me some extra bonus. Spend it wisely. Yeah, of course. I will spend it nicely. So, my competition. Spain in the north. And at least doing silver ore. We got the Britain, not far from them. We got the Portuguese. York Harbor is having furs, and that's where the empire is located. I'm still looking for the Danish. They don't have a colony yet. Let's see if I'm already able to. Yes, we're producing not yet, no sugar yet, so not much we can do. If I want to know what happens to a colony, Denmark and France still don't have them. Morale 58, so it's going up now in Nova Hollandia. And that's probably because the church is finished. Which means why we have that message. And my caravel is completed.
Squadron is yours to command, sir.
So, with my caravel finished, the next thing I'm going to do no, I'm going
Fleet
to
sailing
sail
to
back
home port, sir.
to my home port because I can pick up the caravel and maybe by the time, oh look at this, the Danish found a colony. Maybe by the time the convoy is back at what's its name, Nova Hollandia, I'm able to pick up sugar instead of sugar cane. And what do the Danish have? Sugar cane and coffee. So that means the only ones not having a convoy yet are the French. Church complete. Now it's in port in Amsterdam, so let's select the docks. There's my ship. The caravel are built. Slightly betting sail points, no cannons, more cargo space, 30 crew, and the crew same. I will add it to my fleet. And
Squadron standing by.
I will order my captain.
We shall do as you
Sail
order.
back. And meanwhile, I always check. No, the building isn't finished yet. It's still under construction. But look at this. That one is finished as well. With the church, morale is going up, so I will start taxing them just a little bit. Sugarcane mill is complete. This is what I can do to build
Squadron standing by.
ships. So now here we go again. I will remove the canes. I will add both the rum and the sugar. And make sure I will drop it off in port.
Heading for trading route.
And done. Now let's see where the French are going to settle. Ah, there they are, close to the Danish. Alcantara. And what do they have? It looks like they got cotton. And cotton is, yeah, it's useful. You can use it to make cloth. And later you can actually use it to turn the cloth into clothing. Although I think for clothing you also need something else, which are furs. And Yeah, first can be found up in the north, like here in York Harbor. We'll see what's going to happen. For now, all countries have one colony, same number of trade ships, although Britain is building them pretty fast. They got a bonus on that. And I got 67 sugar board. What I will show you now is the differences in prices if it's available of sugar and sugar cane. Here's sugar. Sugar is bought for 187 and sold for 367, so that's double the value. That's the reason why, or almost double the value. Sugar cane, this is how it works. Sugar cane to sugar mill, sugar to distillery, rum, done. And we got more information. The resource flow, well, I just showed that. And the resource circle of influence is this one, and the next one will be cocoa. Bigger influence, we go over to dyes and eventually spices. Also, mission build a palace. 360 months, so I have some time for it.
New orders?
I won't bother much. It's got everything we need. More information about trade. Yes, I know that.
That makes no sense, sir.
And I was thinking, am I able to... No, I'm not able to show what sugar does. Shame.
Ready to set sail.
I am able to show you what happens so 35 sugar, and my distillery is complete, and that means that we're able to start picking up rum. Yes, I need to buy it for 467, but look at my value. It's a 50%, near 100% increase. Actually, it's over a 100% increase. Because 466 times 2 is 932. So, rum is, once it gets started, one of the better stuff. It's one of the reasons why I picked the Dutch, because they always have an advantage with level 3 items or finished products. And this way, as said, I'm making a nice profit. I will expand to another colony soon, but that soon will happen after I'm able to build a shipyard. And for now, the shipyard is not available because I need 35k. I do have 28. I need to make some money first. I need to keep the morale in check, and even with a small income of 96 based upon taxes, no garrison, no defensive, nothing, I have to be careful, because I'm only getting 96 in taxes. I need a lot more. Finances will be tight the early part of the game. But then I bought for 11,000. Wrong button.
Squadron is yours to command, sir.
24 rum. 24 times 957, that's about 20,000. So, yeah, it's working. It's working well, actually. And this will conclude my first part of the quota. I hope you've enjoyed it. Next episode I will move on and expand Nova Hollandia and eventually build a shipyard and build a second colony. And from that point on things will become a lot more interesting. Thank you for watching and I wish you a great day.